Не надо. Нас напали, проткнули колеса, мы не можем уехать.
Меня просили съездить. Подожди, не надо. Попроси ему.
I know exactly what this is. I actually didn't realize that this is...
The wild never follows our rules, and danger often strikes when we least expect it. From a massive moose violently charging a truck to invisible footsteps circling a pitch-black tent, these are the moments you never want to experience. When a terrifying wilderness encounter is caught on camera, it changes everything. If your next camping encounter turned into a nightmare, would you know what to do? On August 27, 2014, a tense piece of footage was uploaded to YouTube by a channel named TV Rain. In the video, a group of journalists from Pskov, Russia, are heading toward a cemetery to record a report about increasing car accident deaths. It appears to be a normal assignment, nothing out of the ordinary, but before they even arrive, something feels wrong, and within seconds, the entire situation shifts into something far more dangerous than they ever imagined.
Они сейчас по дороге, на дорогу будем ходить. Больше нет никого? Ну что будем делать?
На территории нового кладбища на автомобиль. Район Кресты, нападение на автомобиль. Да.
Сейчас давайте. Я не знаю, что будем делать.
Кидывают камнями. Мы не успеваем уехать. Кидаются под колесами.
Куда звонить?
Хотят, не знаю.
Мы там не проедем вот насквозь?
Нет. Это район Кресты, новое кладбище. Петляново. Да. Я не знаю, да.
Так, сейчас смотрим. Так, главное, чтобы не куда-нибудь не... Какие-то люди нам преграждают дорогу, мы на машине, сейчас пока мы не выходим. Вот, можно вывести в эфир, очень будет романтично.
Ну, непонятно. Молодые люди.
Нет, туда не надо, там он.
Подожди.
Да, но их несколько, и они со всех сторон бегут. Петляново. Да. Они вам камеру разобьют. Санкт-Петербург, проспект Солидарности, дом 12, квартира 2.
Тихо. Назад, давай. Ребят, что хотите? Чего?
Нас напали, проткнули колеса, мы не можем уехать.
Меня просили съездить. Подожди, не надо.
Милицию надо вызывать.
Out of nowhere, a man in a dark hoodie steps right in front of the car. At the same moment, another runs toward the tires. The way they move feels intentional and coordinated. The journalists attempt to communicate, trying to figure out what is happening, but there is no response, only fists pounding against the windows. In that moment, the driver understands something critical. If they stay any longer, they are trapped. So she makes a split-second choice and drives straight through the blockade. They manage to get away without injuries, but watching the footage now, it is hard not to think about how fast this could have turned into something much worse. Because if those tires had blown, or the windows had shattered, this situation could have become life-threatening within seconds. Sometimes, situations escalate before anyone fully understands what is happening, and small decisions make a big difference later. But it also raises a simple question. If you were in that same position, would you react the same way, or hesitate just a second longer? On October 15, 2023, a deeply unsettling video was uploaded to YouTube by a user known as Raised in Alaska. In the footage, a man heads out to document moose behavior during their rutting season. What he records is incredible, but to capture it up close, he places himself in a highly exposed position. What begins as a memorable outing quickly turns into a life-threatening situation. Two cow moose are working a rut pit, but without warning, one of them starts running toward the man. For a brief moment, he is unsure if she is about to charge him. Because of how unpredictable they can be, he needs to move away right away. But he has no idea this moment is about to escalate quickly.
This is a moose scrape, also known as a rut pit for moose. The moose paws the ground down to dirt first, then they urinate in it, splashing up and getting that on their horns, so it's like a big wick out there. And then they lay in it. Once they leave it, it's very common that other moose roll in it and roll around it and get that scent on them. I kind of sort of sometimes think that they want to smell like the big bull, so maybe the cows will. But this was very, very classic behavior.
A large bull moose suddenly charges straight at him at full speed, leaving no time to react. The man responds and steps back just in time to reach safety. But in that short moment, he has already captured exactly what he set out to film. There is no question how dangerous it was. A charge like that can become serious in seconds. Sometimes, moments like this happen faster than expected, and decisions are made without time to think. But it also brings up a simple question. Would you have stayed that close knowing the risk, or stepped back before it got that far? Our next video comes from Grizzly Gaz, a channel focused on solo bushcraft, hot tenting, and real-world gear testing. On October 23, 2023, he heads into an isolated forest in the United Kingdom. He isn't just going on a normal trip. He wants to deliberately test a cheap wood stove inside a fully closed tent. He hikes deep into the trees, avoiding open spaces and skipping a spot by the water because the dirt is too soft. He makes sure his location is perfectly secure before introducing the main hazard.
And that's it. Just 4 pegs. 1 pole in middle. That's it, done. Gear. Bathtub floor that comes up probably about 3 inch. And it fits just perfect in here.
After gathering firewood and prepping his food, he starts the fire. To manage the danger, he places a carbon monoxide detector right by his bed. It shows he is actively tracking the risk, rather than just hoping for the best.
It's out with me, just in case. Carbon monoxide detector. So at least we know it works. There we go, there's the boudoir for the night. It's a bit of a continuation from my last 2 videos.
He then settles into his evening routine of cooking and eating. The woods stay completely silent, keeping all his focus on how well the stove is working.
You can smell, isn't it? She's been having a nose by that all night. There's something walking about outside. It's probably a deer. I think it's gone now.
Suddenly, he stops and listens. He can't see what is out there, but he stays completely calm. He assumes it is just a wild animal passing by and doesn't let it panic him. The dark woods bring a little uncertainty, but it never ruins his plan.
Freezing outside, then I came back in here and it were absolutely lovely. Thought I may as well just let it die out now.
As the outside temperature drops to around 4 degrees Celsius, the inside of the tent stays warm, allowing him to safely go to sleep. This trip proves that careful planning keeps you safe when facing the wild. By managing his risks from the very beginning, he stayed in total control of the environment the entire night. It really makes you think about trusting your gear. Would you feel safe sleeping next to a burning stove in the woods? Or would you want to change the setup before going to bed? On February 15, 2016, a channel called Snowmobile Snow Track posted one of the most chilling wildlife encounters ever recorded. The footage shows a man navigating his snowmobile deep within the isolated Alaskan wilderness. Unexpectedly, a huge moose wandered onto the path. The rider naturally decided to halt his machine, intending to let the animal pass peacefully. However, simply pausing on the snowy trail quickly turned into a life-threatening situation.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Get.
Without any warning, the massive creature pivoted and rushed directly toward him. The rider initially attempted to frighten the beast away, but his actions only aggravated it further. Having no time to think, he drew his firearm and shot until the animal collapsed onto the ground. Wild animals can act in completely unpredictable ways, and being miles away from any help makes an outdoor emergency much more dangerous. If you were totally alone, what would you do if a giant wild animal blocked your only path forward? Our next intense video comes from Folks Hairhold, a South African survival channel dedicated to solo camping in active wildlife zones near Kruger National Park. The footage highlights real-time situational awareness, tracking, and interpreting animal habits in dangerous settings. On April 22, 2026, in the KwaZulu-Leseri area of South Africa.
Yeah, there was a hippo bull that walked here last night, probably. Walked down this way. Scatterlings of the dung. Yeah, I'm just walking quietly down here, just still looking for a place to spend the night. Check that out. Also something died out here. Seems there was a little bit of a disturbance here, but this is old.
The surroundings are immediately active. Fresh hippo waste, buffalo footprints, and evidence of a recent kill are spotted in the same vicinity, proving these animals are actively crossing paths.
See, that's the thing. I do think they come here in here at night. That's a big hyena track here. When I camp near here, I often hear them use this as a highway to go to wherever they want at night.
He checks how close his camp is to the water, knowing that wild animals often gather there. This gives him a hard choice: stay right in the middle of this busy animal path, or try to move his camp just as the sun is going down.
Okay, something interesting, guys. I just spotted it now. I didn't see it on the way in. But this over here is a wild dog track, an African wild dog. That's a very rare dog species in Africa, and you can see the nails there as they were running. There are a few here actually. Maybe they're still in the area, but they cover a lot of distance sometimes. Oh, that would have been awesome. But still awesome to see. Very nice.
When night falls, the danger becomes real. He hears hyenas calling nearby and realizes a leopard is also roaming close to him. Even without seeing them, he uses his experience and the sounds they make to figure out exactly where they are, turning a hidden risk into a very real and present threat.
Again, woke me up. But yeah, pretty cool night, eh? Still a cool night. It's probably about the baboons calling. Yeah, lots of night sounds tonight. Definitely spotted something. Yeah, my fire is dead. And yeah, it's pretty dark tonight. Very dark.
The night quickly becomes loud and wild. Lions roar from different directions, baboons scream back, and the bushes are constantly rustling. Instead of hearing just one clear sound, there's a confusing mix of animal noises. Because everything is happening at once, he can't track just one animal. He only knows he is completely surrounded. As a result, his mindset changes.
But I couldn't wake up. And it was a dream. There was nothing coming. Afterwards, I woke up and it was dead quiet. It would have been a bummer because the trail camera, the battery's dead. It's not taking any video, but nothing came by. I think I would have woke up unless a leopard snuck by. It's so nice up there. It's freedom to the next level. You're up in the trees. It is just a different experience. I slept well. I got cold,
He can barely sleep, stays on high alert, and the endless sounds become completely overwhelming rather than just scary. This whole experience is driven by the huge amount of wild animals nearby. The danger builds up step by step, going from just seeing footprints to actually hearing the animals all around him. Even though no animal attacks his tent, the scary part is simply how close they get. In the morning, new footprints right next to his tent prove the animals never stopped moving. He was just sitting right in the middle of them. When you set up camp right on an animal path, you quickly realize how wild nature truly is. Could you stay calm hearing dangerous animals in the dark? Or would you want to pack up and leave right away?
Hackles are up and her ears laying back. Well, we would like to get through. It's supper time. I don't know if I want my window down when she's doing that. We just want to get by, lady.
He's not letting us by. Come on, miss. We don't want anything to do with you. God. Get out of here. We're gone.
The massive female moose stands firmly blocking the trail, posturing aggressively with her ears pinned flat against her head. Every single time the men inside the vehicle attempt to slowly inch their way forward, the animal instantly becomes hostile. Refusing to let the truck pass, she physically attacks the vehicle 2 separate times. Initially, she strikes the heavy front grille using her head, and then she forcefully rams her large shoulder directly into the side of the truck. Despite the heavy impacts, the hunters sitting inside remain completely composed. They clearly recognize that her violent behavior is not just random anger. Instead, it is the frantic, protective instinct of a wild mother fiercely guarding her hidden babies. When wild animals protect their family, a thick metal door is the only real barrier preventing a tragedy. How would you react if a giant animal suddenly started ramming your car? Our next video is from Recon One Outdoors, a survival channel about camping alone, surviving bad weather, and testing outdoor gear. On April 21st, 2026, at the Breed River in South Africa, the camper arrives just before a bad storm hits. The wind is already blowing, but it isn't too strong yet. His very first big decision is how to park his truck. He points the front of the truck straight into the wind, which blocks the strong gusts from hitting the camp area behind it. This step is super important because the safety of his whole camp depends on this exact position.
I've got the storm straps out and the pegs. I'm going to put out some pegs in some random places. And as soon as I open up that awning in conditions such as this, it is not meant to withstand winds of these speeds all on its own. So I'm just going to smash some pegs in. This one is a tricky one because of where I parked the car. Guys, there's no science to this. Estimating based on where my arms are once that awning is deployed. Due to the water resistance, that is another issue that I'm going to be dealing with. I've got the cameras to contend with too. I'm going to attach the strap.
He makes his camp strong right from the start. He secures heavy stakes, ropes, and anchors into the ground before fully opening his equipment. He doesn't just roll out the roof canopy, he makes sure it is tightly tied down first. By putting up a wall to block the wind, he creates a safe space to work right behind his truck. His plan is to use multiple layers of protection, not just one simple tent.
And see if there is any other supplies that I can pick up, things people might have left around. Like I said, I am particularly looking for wood. Amazing the stuff that people just leave behind. A bit charred, but still very usable for us. I brought 2 bags of my own. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be enough, and luckily some good Samaritans.
Soon, it starts raining again, and the wind blows in strong, random bursts. He continues to collect firewood, even though the bad weather makes it hard to walk around. His camp is ready before the worst of the weather hits, but the heavy storm is moving in fast.
Dis mislik hier so buite. It's really gone monkey, it's mental. Hunter doesn't even want to play anymore. Where you boy? You done? you finished.
As the wind gets stronger, his equipment gets hit hard. The strong gusts pull heavily on the ropes, and it becomes hard to see through the blowing rain and wind. When the absolute worst of the storm hits, the camp stays standing simply because he prepared so well early on. Even with all that pressure from the wind, nothing breaks.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is actually really cold. Got a hoodie on underneath, I got a hoodie on top. I was freezing my ass off. Okay, let's get busy with that steak. We're not baking pancakes here, boys. Good layer of oil.
He uses the exact same smart thinking for his bed. Instead of setting up a closed tent, he just uses a camping cot and a warm winter sleeping bag. He sleeps out in the open, trusting his good gear to keep him safe instead of hiding behind walls. There are no bad surprises because he planned for every little detail.
South Africans lose their lives due to flash floods that happen. All these farmers are in contact with each other all the way upriver due to rising river levels. A lot of the pathways and the walkways that are on this property have completely now washed.
He built a strong camp ready for the bad weather, rather than waiting for the storm to hit before trying to fix things. When you set up strong defenses before a storm even arrives, you completely take away the danger and stay safe. Would you rather spend extra time tying everything down early, or risk fighting the wind in the dark if your camp falls apart? On March 26, 2019, an outdoor channel called Stuck in the Rut posted a nerve-wracking video to YouTube. The clip shows a hunter named Ryan Altus tracking elk on an isolated mountain path. Out of nowhere, he spots a bull moose in mating season walking directly at him. Running into these animals isn't totally rare in regions where both elk and moose live together. However, that fact alone didn't prepare Ryan for the intense situation that happened next.
Well, as most elk hunters know, moose are very territorial, and any form of elk calling can cause an aggressive moose to come in.
The massive animal gets dangerously close to Ryan, stopping to briefly sniff his equipment. The tension is incredibly high, and it feels like disaster could strike at any second. While mother moose guarding babies are usually the fiercest, a male during the rut is just as erratic and dangerous. A single sudden twitch could spark an immediate attack. Fortunately, instead of fleeing, Ryan completely freezes and captures an unbelievable, rare interaction. Following a few extremely tense minutes, the giant creature simply gets bored and wanders off. If that fearless bull had decided to act violently, it's hard to fathom how disastrous the outcome would have been. Staying completely frozen shows wild animals you aren't a threat, which is often the only thing keeping you safe when there is nowhere to hide. If a giant beast walked right up to your face, would you be able to stand totally still, or would your panic make you run? The video is from Hoodoo, a US channel that uses satellite maps to find and explore hidden deserts and old empty mines. On February 16, 2025, the creator drives out into the Utah desert near the old mining area of Eureka. He has a clear goal: to find a specific spot he saw on the internet but has never actually visited in person. He leaves the safe, paved roads and drives into rough, wild land, passing by piles of rocks, steep dirt hills, and leftover trash from old factories. He quickly realizes just how huge the area really is.
All right, so we found something else here. First thing I saw was this big silo looking thing up there. But yeah, we got this as well. I wouldn't have expected there to be active mines up here. I was looking over here, and I see 2 headstones. They almost look like they're made out of styrofoam. And it's a retaining wall for some dirt. And it also looks like there could be another mine right up there. That almost looks like another mine tailing.
The land goes on long past his original target, packed with confusing trails, steep cliffs, and no clear edges to guide him. This makes things a lot more dangerous, because if he gets lost, finding the way back out will be really tough. Before long, he gets completely stuck.
I was looking on Google Earth, and it almost looks like the road to get down this way is super steep, so that could get dangerous fast. So I might flip this around right here and head back, and then see if we can cut across the other way, see if we can find another road in. Okay, so I drove all the way down, and I found this road, which looks like on my maps that it might lead up to the spot that we're trying to get to, which is somewhere up there. I don't think that we're able to go up that road at all, so I'm going to flip it around. That looks like it's not going to work out. I'm going to go over to a different area where I know I can camp, and there's some really good camping out there. It's kind of a little bit of a bust that we're not able to stay at that campsite or check out that spot that I was originally planning on going to, especially if I was on my motorcycle.
The road ahead is totally blocked by deep snow and rough rocks. He tries out a few different paths, but none of them lead anywhere, leaving him no choice but to head back. He gives up and turns around.
But it's like this little circle of rocks, obviously, and it has some rocks that lead into the middle of it. And let's go check it out. It seems like the map leads over to that mountain over there. I'm assuming it's at the top. Doesn't look as steep on the phone, but... So it's looking like it might be a mine tailing, but it doesn't make any sense because there's like a big circle of rock spot around it. Yeah, that down there just looks like a mound of dirt. So this road keeps going up. This is all I'm seeing right now. So I can't figure out what it is. It looks like maybe a mine shaft. Oh, I actually didn't realize that this is where this was, but this is what's known as the Nutty Putty Caves. This young kid ended up passing away down in...
A bit later, the real history of the place becomes clear. This area is connected to the famous Nutty Putty Cave. He isn't in immediate danger, but he is walking right on top of a place where a real, tragic death happened. The whole trip is full of unknowns, and the huge, confusing landscape makes everything feel much riskier. The biggest moment of the video isn't reaching his goal, but finally realizing exactly where he is standing. Wandering completely off the map is always a gamble because the land itself holds hidden histories that can trap you before you even realize it. If you accidentally stumbled into a place known for a past tragedy, would you keep exploring out of curiosity? Or would you turn your truck around and leave right away? Our next terrifying video features Pitched Up, a British wild camping channel following friends recording live overnight stays in isolated spots. Their content focuses on natural conditions, group dynamics, and how the wilderness shapes the trip. It is October 21st, 2024, at Crow Earth in the United Kingdom.
It was a last minute idea. Second camera, Rob's destroyed the fire.
I'm pretty sure I can see a flame, bro.
Hmm?
I said I'm pretty sure I can see a flame.
They arrive late as the sun sets, leaving almost no light and zero time to waste. Camp setup is a frantic rush. They quickly throw up tents, drop their bags, and scramble to build a fire.
Oh, that was very close. What are you doing?
Stood up too quick. Oh! Jabbed up the arse by your chair, bro. Oh, that really hurt.
A steady wind is already blowing. Not a storm, but loud enough to cover other sounds, making the camp feel instantly uneasy. Suddenly, a strange noise breaks the silence right next to their camp. Unsure what it is, everyone stops talking and stares into the dark woods. They never find the source, but just being interrupted by something unseen in the dark.
That's what the fire was. Eh?
I'll sort you out in a minute, sir. What we got down on here?
Don't step backwards, Smash. My cup's down there.
Oh, I think I've done my bit, mate.
So we've had a couple of hot dogs. So we've had, innit? Eh? And some sweets. Cup of tea with some brandy in it. A couple of brandies with no tea in it.
Is terrifying. Later, another quick, strange noise near the fire makes everyone jump. Again, they see nothing. But since it happened twice, it no longer feels like a random coincidence. Then, the wind picks up, roaring through the trees.
We're going to try and get some footage of the moon, because there's meant to be a big super moon tonight for the last night. And we've got a tripod, so we're going to try and get that on if Rob's still with us. It's up there through the trees, but we're going to go into the field.
This loud background noise makes it impossible to tell real footsteps from the wind, causing deep paranoia. Nothing actually attacks them, but the constant stress, the rushed setup, the repeating noises, and the loud wind keeps everyone on edge. They never see what was out there, but this creepy buildup completely ruins the night. When you are already stressed out and the woods get loud, the dark environment can easily hide whatever is moving around you. If you were out there hearing repeated noises you couldn't see, would you try to sleep in your tent or pack up and leave immediately? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.